Hello there and welcome to the News at 6, where we get to the day's top developing stories. I'm Tracy Shilchi and here are the headlines. A month-long election exercise comes to an end tomorrow. Manipur to have polling across 1,151 booths in its second and final phase. Final phase of elections in Uttar Pradesh as well tomorrow. 40 constituencies spread over 7 eastern districts of the state to vote on Wednesday. US issues second travel advisory banning citizens of mainly Muslim nations from entering for 12 days, but Iraq is left out of the list. And India levels the test match series against Australia 1-1 against a victory target of 188 runs. Ashwin's 6-wicket haul restricts visitors to just 112 runs. First, let's get you the latest from the ongoing assembly elections in Verdict 2017. Let's start with Manipur, that's gearing up for the second and final phase to be held on the 8th of March. This phase will witness polling in 22 assembly constituencies. The first phase registered an impressive voter turnout, and all eyes are now on the Thobal constituency, where Irom Sharmila is pitted against the Chief Minister. Polling parties have been sent to all 1,151 booths for the last phase of Manipur's elections. With most of the seats in the hill areas in this phase, officials have been asked to pay more attention to the sensitive areas. Polling will begin at 7 a.m. and end by 3 p.m.
हम भी बहुत अच्छा से ट्रेनिंग किया है. We are training, we do very well training, and I hope we conduct smoothly this election.
Are you getting support from the security personnel?
Yes. We CRPF 9 persons and local police, 2 men and 1 woman. Total 11 we have.
265 companies of paramilitary forces have been deployed for this phase, in addition to the state police forces, which account for around 7,000 personnel. Each polling booth will have 10 jawans manning the area along with police constables. Manipur is home to more than 40 active underground outfits, and while in these elections we've seen no boycott calls, 578 booths have been assigned as critical and 185 are vulnerable.
इस सेक्शन में ये है कि कोई बोगस वोट न डाले, और जो सिक्योरिटी में और कोई किसी का कोई बोगस वोट पड़ रहा है या कोई बोलता है ये डबल आ रहा है या ट्रिपल आ रहा है, ऐसे कुछ है तो उसके बारे में ध्यान रखेंगे. वो बताएगा प्रोसीडिंग ऑफिसर कि मेरे को कुछ सुरक्षा में ये है, यही आदमी जबरदस्ती कर रहा है, या ये आदमी ऐसे आया है, या ये आदमी लीगल है, तो उसके बारे में हम लोग उसको चेक करेंगे, पकड़ेंगे.
Over 85% voting witnessed in the first phase. Election Commission officials are hopeful that phase 2 repeats or surpasses the voting percentage. While video cameras have been installed at all polling stations, different mobile apps like Suvidha, Samadhan and e-Manipur are also being handled from inside the election office premises. A special toll-free number, 1950, is also working round the clock to help with election-related queries. The second phase is logistically challenging because most of the seats fall in hilly areas close to the international border with Myanmar or the state borders of Nagaland and Assam.
Given the terrain of the second phase of elections, problems are many and facilities are very few. It also reflects the working of the government for last 3 terms. It will be interesting to see that how people come and participate in the election on polling day beyond these problems. Akhilesh Suman for Rashtra Television with camera person Prasanto in Thobal of Manipur.
And of course, after that large turnout in the first phase of elections in Manipur, Governor Najma Heptullah has requested people to come out in much bigger numbers for the second phase. In an exclusive interview to our correspondent Akhilesh Suman, the governor discusses political awareness of the people and gives her view on the economic blockade.
First phase of election is over in Manipur and all preparations are at place for the second phase. With me, Governor of Manipur, Najma Heptullah is there, and let me ask her what she thinks about the higher turnout in the first phase election. Madam, it was a very good presence of voters at the polling booths, and they have shown that Manipur is quite aware that more than 86%, it is around 87% polling. So how do you think how this happened in Manipur?
Well, I'm very happy that it happened in Manipur. I had made a very earnest request and appeal to all the voters to come out and use this adult franchise because it is part of the constitutional right. In fact, I feel that the second phase of the election, which is in a more difficult area, it's a hilly area, but I request those voters to come and vote. In fact, I had a movement when I was president of the Inter-Parliamentary Union that voting should be made compulsory because a lot of money government spends on election, every government.
Yeah, Manipur is showing the way that people will vote. We will wait. But economic blockade is still on. More than 100 days are going. So in that situation, if people are coming and voting, do you think that it shows something very special about the state?
Maybe only when the result will come out on 11th, then we would know exactly for what they voted. But they voted. And blockade or no blockade, people should vote. And anyway, it was much easier for them to vote because it's mostly the valley area. But I hope that the second phase on the 8th, they will come out and vote. This will be better than the blockade because this will be using their democratic right. I have been telling them because they all come and meet me. I said use the democratic means for redressal of your grievances. Undemocratic means are not good.
Governor Najma Heptullahi is quite confident, like first phase of election, in second phase also, people will turn up in larger numbers and they will reflect the will of the people and they will reflect how new assembly will be being in making. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person Prasanto in Imphal.
Akhilesh Suman is fact tracking developments today as well in Imphal, joining us live from there. We also have Kriti Mishra joining us in fact live from Varanasi, where of course we will be seeing the final phase, of course, of the UP elections playing out there. But first, if I could come to you, Akhilesh, looking at your report, looking at, of course, the governor there, expressing hope that, of course, in the second phase we'll be seeing perhaps a bigger turnout. But what's the sense that you're getting? Because the hill districts are, of course, difficult to, compare to the valley. The hill districts always have seen a lesser turnout. But what's the expectation this time around?
Actually, I was talking to Chief Electoral Officer just now, and he was quite hopeful that this phase of election also, people will come up in larger number because there is always a competition between hills and valleys. And once valley has turned up more than 86%, so hills will be also doing the same thing or maybe larger. So, but the security challenges are much more because just now I am hearing that there is a firing going on in Chandpur post-election, though it has happened in the on the first page of election also, but now this is going. So it is post-poll scenario in Chandpur that has happened. So I am hearing that it is between two groups, but it is nothing. It has nothing to do with the election.
Yes.
But coming on the Senapati side, which is the main bastion of the whole Naga agitation that is going on, the economic blockade, it is being understood that since United Naga Council has not told anyone to boycott the election, rather they are telling people not to vote for Congress.
Yes.
So it is having positive impact at least on the people that they can go and vote. So this is the situation in this area. If you go to the Chandel area and other areas near Myanmar border, enough security arrangement has been done. Border has been sealed.
Yes.
Because there were some inputs that some miscreants may come and they may create some problem and they may again go to Myanmar side. The border has been sealed in that area also.
Yeah,
and also in this area, Nagaland and Assam area, that is the adjoining states of Manipur. So this phase of election is going to be very challenging.
Yes.
But it is very interesting to understand that given the fact that there are so many underground organizations working here, how people turn up and how they cast their vote in convenience, and they are showing the will of the people.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Akhilesh, thank you so much for joining us with those details coming in from Imphal and of course Chandil and Chultanpur as well. Kriti, we'll come to you in just a short while. Of course, we'll talk about those 40 constituencies that are spread over 7 eastern districts of Uttar Pradesh that will go to polls tomorrow on the 8th of March. And this phase also brings the 2-month-long poll exercise in the state to a close. Here's a report. Electioneering for the 7th and last phase culminated on Monday after various political parties wrapped up a trailblazer campaign in Uttar Pradesh. Voters from 7 districts including Ghazipur, Varanasi, Chandauli, Mirzapur, Bhadoi, Sonbhadra and Jaunpur will exercise their franchise on Wednesday. With opponents giving a tough fight in the Prime Minister's parliamentary constituency, the battle for Varanasi has become a matter of prestige for the BJP.
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी है, इस जिले के वो सबसे बड़े कर्णधार हैं। अब प्रधानमंत्री जी के 3 दिन के प्रयास के बाद क्या होगा कोई बता नहीं सकता। हाँ, एक बात जरूर है कि अगर अतीत से ज्यादा परसेंटेज में वोटिंग होती है तो बीजेपी के लिए संकट होगा।
A total of 1.4 crore people will vote for 535 candidates in this phase. This includes around 65 lakh female voters and 706 from the third gender. While the maximum number of 24 candidates are from Varanasi Cant seat, a minimum of 6 candidates are contesting from Kerakat. 14,458 polling booths have been set up for this phase.
वोटर टर्नआउट सही बात है, बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है, विशेष रूप से वाराणसी के परिप्रेक्ष्य में। तो उसके लिए हम लोग लगभग 2-3 महीने से इस पे काम कर रहे हैं। हमारी जो स्वीप की एक्टिविटीज़ हैं वो बहुत अच्छी हुई हैं। छोटे बच्चों से लेकर के बुजुर्गों तक, दिव्यांगों तक, ट्रांसजेंडर्स को और विभिन्न माध्यमों से, पोस्टर के द्वारा, पेंटिंग के द्वारा, गीत संगीत के माध्यम से, गली क्रिकेट हम लोगों ने रात-रात में कराया है।
BSP has fielded its nominees for all seats while the BJP is contesting in 22, leaving 8 seats to its allies Apna Dal and Suhel Dev Bharatiya Samaj Party. Samajwadi Party's candidates are in the fray in 31 segments and its ally Congress is contesting from 9 seats. In the 2012 State Assembly polls, Samajwadi Party won 23 of the 40 seats, 5 went to BSP, 4 to the BJP, 3 to Congress and 5 to others. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV. Well, Kriti Mishra continues to be with us from Varanasi. Kriti, give us a sense, how important, of course, this particular region is. We've seen the past few days, Varanasi has in fact seen an overdose of rallies really from all the main parties. Which way is it going to go tomorrow?
Well, Tracy, after this trailblazer campaign and also this campaign blitz ended, it is extremely difficult to actually prophesize what would happen because there's no discernible wave like we had in 2014 or for that matter even in 2012 when people were vying for a change. So as far as seats are concerned, candidate selection, caste arithmetic and local issues would play an extremely important role. And as far as Varanasi is concerned, remember it is parliamentary constituency of Prime Minister. All the political parties, not just the BJP, have tried extremely hard to woo the voters, and also for the BJP it is a matter of prestige. But as far as the Congress and the Samajwadi parties are concerned, they have aligned together this time around, and in 2012 the cumulative vote share was more than the BJP. And also as far as BJP is concerned, there were reports of internal rebellion after the ticket distribution. So certainly a matter of prestige for the BJP and an equal important fight for all other political parties. And as far as this entire region is concerned, Tracy, remember it is said that one who performs better in Purvanchal gets to govern the state. So as far as 2012 was concerned, out of the 40 constituencies that are up for grabs, the Samajwadi Party could grab around 23 seats, the BSP 5, the BJP 4, the Congress 2, and 5 seats went to others and smaller parties and independents. Yes. So certainly all the political parties have pulled out all stops to woo the voters, and as far as these 40 seats are concerned, they may make a huge difference to the entire tally that all the parties are vying for.
Absolutely, Tracy? Absolutely. We'll leave it there for now, Kriti. Thank you so much for joining us. Counting, remember, takes place on the 11th of March, and until then, of course, it's going to be tense as far as not just Varanasi but also the Purvanchal region is concerned. Well, extensive security arrangements, of course, in place, and companies of paramilitary forces and police have been deployed to ensure peaceful polling. And speaking to Rajya Sabha TV, the Inspector General of Police of Varanasi said that appropriate action would be taken against all poll illegalities.
Tell us about the security arrangements to ensure free and fair polling takes place tomorrow.
We have made elaborate security arrangements for the polling day. We have deployed 800 sub-inspectors, 425 head constables and 5,700 constables, totally for polling duty. We also have 50 barriers to check the free movement and infiltration of outsiders and antisocial elements.
So how many companies of paramilitary forces have you deployed?
We have deployed 55 companies of paramilitary and 4 companies of state provincial armed constabulary.
Has there been seizure of illicit liquor and cash?
Yeah, there has been a seizure of 3 crore 38 lakhs cash only in Varanasi districts, and we have seized 2,892 liters of liquor also. And every vulnerable village we have deployed the paramilitary force in the vulnerable pocket, and police have made elaborate preventive measures before the election, and all the vulnerable areas were properly taken care of, and there is no vulnerability as on today.
From Varanasi, with camp person Ashwin, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Meanwhile, UP Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav addressed a rally in Alapur in Ambedkar Nagar, where he once again targeted Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The UPCM said that the Prime Minister, the BJP, were playing a divisive politics over the electricity issue in the state. He also said that the Prime Minister's promise of waiving off loans for farmers was a false one, as BJP-ruled government had failed to do so in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. The Alapur seat was to go for polls on the 27th of February, but due to a death of a Samajwadi Party candidate, polling was postponed for the 9th of March. With that, a quick break here. Up next, we're getting you more national and international news. Stay with us.
It's election time again. Voters in 5 states gear up to cast their votes. Catch all the action in Verdict 2017, Monday to Friday on Rajya Sabha Television.
Welcome back. Now, after spending 3 days in his Lok Sabha constituency of Varanasi campaigning for the assembly elections in UP, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is now on a 2-day tour of his home state of Gujarat. Arriving in Surat, Prime Minister today addressed the people at the airport and also spoke about the government's decision to increase PG medical seats in hospitals and medical colleges.
दूर जो दिखता है ना खंबा, पिलर दिखता है ना, ये 15 साल पहले ब्रिज का शिलान्यास हुआ था. अभी तक 2 खंबे डले हैं, आगे नहीं हुआ है. काशी में भी 13 साल पुराना एक स्ट्रक्चर लटका पड़ा हुआ है. मैंने कहा अच्छा होता भारत सरकार को दे देते, मैं आकर के इसको पूरा कर देता. एक तरफ देश में कोई भी काम 10 साल, 12 साल, 15 साल और ये सामान्य लगता था, उसके सामने.
Meanwhile, hundreds of fishermen protested in Tamil Nadu's Rameshwaram against the killing of an Indian fisherman allegedly by the Sri Lankan Navy. A 22-year-old fisherman was shot dead yesterday while he was fishing in his boat. Chief Minister E.K. Palaniswamy condemned the incident and announced a compensation of 5 lakh rupees for the victim's family. In the letter to the centre, the Chief Minister accused the Sri Lankan Navy of resorting to inhuman tactics by opening indiscriminate fire on unarmed fishermen. He said under no circumstances can the present escalation of actions by the Sri Lankan side be ignored or tolerated. This was a statement coming in from the Chief Minister E.K. Palaniswamy against the Sri Lankan Navy after the shooting of that fisherman, the 22-year-old, against the incident, of course, of which today protests took place. Meanwhile, the Sri Lankan Navy assured a thorough probe into the killing after India raised the issue with its Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, categorically denying any involvement in the fisherman's killing. The Lankan Navy said that it does not open fire at fishermen and only makes arrests. And here are some national news updates in Nationwide. At least 8 persons were injured in a blast in the Bhopal-Ujjain passenger train today. The blast occurred in a general coach of the train that was on its way to Ujjain from Bhopal. The ceiling and glass windows of 2 coaches were damaged in the blast. A bomb disposal squad is investigating the incident. The Gadchiroli District and Sessions Court awarded life imprisonment to Delhi University Professor G.N. Sai Baba and 5 others for having links with Maoists. 6 people, including the professor, were convicted for their alleged links with Maoists and involvement in anti-India activities. 1 convict was sentenced to 10 years rigorous imprisonment. The wheelchair-bound English professor was arrested in 2014 and was out on bail since June last year. Another army Jawan has spoken against the army's buddy or Sahayak system. In a video posted on social media sites, Jawan Sindar Jogidas has complained that some army officers misused the Sahayak system and that he was punished for refusing to do his duties. The video surfaced less than a week after Army Jawan Roy Matthew was found dead under serious circumstances after he was featured in a video exposing the Sahayak system in the army. International news, and the US has issued a second travel advisory banning citizens of mainly Muslim nations from entering the country from March 16th for 12 days. While Sudan, Syria, Iran, Libya, Somalia and Yemen continue to figure in the banned list, Iraq has been left out this time. Here are more details.
US President Donald Trump signed a revised executive order placing a 90-day ban on people from 6 Muslim-majority nations. The latest order is specific to people from Sudan, Syria, Iran, Libya, Somalia and Yemen, but doesn't apply to those who already have valid visas. Iraq, which was covered in the previous 7-nation order, was removed from the new directive after it agreed to increase cooperation on visa vetting measures. The order takes effect from 16th March and suspends admission of refugees into the US for 120 days.
The president's trying to keep Americans safe, and we know that in these 6 countries that are remaining, those countries are not in a position to actually vet their own individuals trying to leave in an appropriate fashion. So it's okay if we take a short period of time, perhaps 120 days as suggested, and make sure that our policies are in place such that we can do a good job of vetting these individuals coming across.
President Trump also asked for recommendations from state departments of any country that could be included in future suspension of entry into the US. The Trump administration defended the revised travel ban, saying that the order is necessary to protect US from foreign extremists and is not aimed at Muslims.
I think that what we did was completely legal. In accordance with the law and in accordance with the U.S. Code. I think we had a setback at the court, and we had to make a decision ultimately about how to pursue what the president felt was in the best interest of keeping the nation safe. I mean, that's it. And again, I think our ultimate goal would have been to, if possible, pursue both tracks. I think ultimately the advice that the president received was that in order to protect the country as thoroughly as possible and as quick as possible was to pursue this track.
This is the second travel ban since Donald Trump took over as president in January. The first order sparked worldwide outrage and more than 24 lawsuits were filed in U.S. courts against the controversial immigration ban. The state of Washington got it suspended by arguing that it violated constitutional protections against religious discrimination. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
And this comes at a time when the US has ranked 7th in a global survey that measures people's perceptions of which are the best countries in the world. The rankings were released by the US News and World Report in partnership with the University of Pennsylvania. Switzerland debuted as the best country, followed by Canada and the United Kingdom. And finally, India leveled the 4-match test series against Australia 1-1 after winning the second test in Bengaluru by 75 runs. Defending a target of 188 runs, the hosts were helped by Ashwin's 6-wicket haul as they bowled out the visitors for just 112 runs. We're leaving you with this report.
16 wickets fell on the fourth day of the Bengaluru test as India defeated Australia by 75 runs to level the four-match series 1-1. Defending 187 runs in the second innings, the Indian bowlers had a difficult first hour as the visitors raced to 42 for 1. Umesh Yadav provided two crucial breaks before ace spinner Ravichandran Ashwin rattled the Australian batting order, reducing them to 101 for 6 at tea. Post-tea, the visitors lost the remaining 4 wickets after adding just 11 runs to fold up at 112 runs. Ashwin finished with 6 wickets, his 25th 5-wicket haul in Test cricket. Australian captain Stephen Smith top scored with 28 runs. Earlier, India resumed their second innings from the overnight score of 213 for 4. Pujara and Rahane added 128 runs for the 5th wicket, but their fall triggered a batting collapse for the hosts, who were bowled out for 274 runs. Pujara top scored with 92.
A couple of sessions in Test cricket are game-changing. I think that first session on day 2 for us was game-changing. 47 runs only, loss of 2 wickets. I think we just stopped the momentum for them there and then. And from there on, we knew, 1 or 2 mistakes. We're going to keep getting wickets every session and pull this Test match close. The moment they did not score big in the first innings, we knew that we have a chance in the second innings as well. Historically, the teams have chased totals down on this ground, but since the wicket has been relayed, we know what the scores in first-class cricket have been. 120 is the best, any team has done. So we knew if we get anything over 150, they're going to be under pressure if they lose a couple, and exactly panned out the way we thought about it.
Opener KL Rahul, who scored 90 and 51 in the 2 innings, was adjudged man of the match. Both teams will now meet in Ranchi for the 3rd test that starts from March 16th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.